Shedeur Sanders' biggest flaw didn't show up on the stat sheet alone Sunday. It showed up in the moments that decide NFL games. Cleveland's 23-20 loss to Buffalo wasn't a blowout. It wasn't a talent mismatch. It was a game that's stayed within one possession late into the fourth quarter. The exact kind of situation where a quarterback either proves he belongs or reinforces doubts that already exist. And for Sanders, that moment exposed the issue scouts, analysts, and now fans keep circling back to: pocket awareness. Sanders finished the afternoon with 157 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. On paper, that's not disastrous for a rookie, but football games aren't won on box scores. They're won and lost on situational decisions. And Sanders' inability to feel pressure, recognize the moment, and act decisively was the difference. Late in the fourth quarter, with the Browns needing a conversion to stay alive, Sanders took a sack on fourth down, not a sack where protection immediately collapsed, not a sack where a free rusher screamed untouched off the edge, a sack where the quarterback simply held the ball too long. That can't happen. Not in the NFL, not in that situation. You can miss a throw, you can misread coverage, you can even throw an interception earlier in the game and recover. But on fourth down, late in a one-score game, the quarterback's internal clock has to be flawless. The ball either comes out to a receiver out of bounds or into the dirt, or the play is dead anyway. Taking a sack is the worst possible outcome. That single moment crystallized what has followed Sanders from college to the pros. He doesn't consistently know when the play is over. The reaction was immediate. Fans didn't talk about arm talent. They didn't talk about toughness or leadership. They talked about awareness. Shedeur has one huge problem: football situation awareness. Shedeur has terrible pocket awareness. Shedeur has great throwing skills, but my God, his pocket awareness is some of the worst in history. That criticism didn't come out of nowhere. It's been there for years. At Colorado, Sanders played behind an offensive line that struggled mightily. He was pressured constantly, more than any quarterback in the country. That context matters, and it explains part of the problem. When a quarterback is hit over and over, he develops bad habits. He rushes reads, he anticipates pressure that isn't there, he bails from clean pockets, or paradoxically, he freezes, waiting for something to open up while defenders close in. Pro Football Focus flagged this exact issue long before Sanders ever put on a Browns uniform. They noted that while Colorado's line deserved plenty of blame, Sanders himself invited pressure. He led the nation in quarterback-faulted pressures and sacks. Too often, he abandoned clean pockets early or held the ball while waiting for plays to fully develop, even when the situation demanded something quicker. That's the core issue. Sanders often plays as if every down is the same. In college, you can survive that. Elite athletes bail you out. Defenders miss tackles. Receivers improvise. In the NFL, the margin for error disappears. Windows close faster. Pass rushers don't get tired, and defensive coordinators feast on quarterbacks who don't understand timing and leverage. Against Buffalo, Sanders showed flashes. He moved the offense at times. He made throws that reminded everyone why he was once projected much higher than where he was drafted. But every positive moment came paired with a reminder of why teams hesitated. The first interception came on a misfire that turned into a tipped ball. A rookie mistake, but a survivable one. The second, deep in Cleveland territory, was far more damaging. And then came the sacks. Not just the final one, but several moments where Sanders failed to recognize that the Bills' rush had already won the rep. Quarterbacks don't need to be statues or scramblers. They need to be decisive. Josh Allen wasn't brilliant statistically on the other sideline. He threw for just 130 yards, but when pressure came, he knew when to throw it away, when to take off, and when to live for the next down. That's not arm strength. That's experience and awareness. Sanders doesn't have that yet. And the question Cleveland has to answer is whether he can develop it fast enough. Pocket awareness is one of the hardest traits to teach. You can coach footwork, you can simplify reads, you can design quicker concepts. But the internal clock, the feel for chaos around you, is something quarterbacks either learn through painful repetition or never fully master. Some do. Many don't. Right now, Sanders is playing like a quarterback who still believes he has time he doesn't actually have. He's waiting for perfect instead of settling for possible. And in the NFL, Perfect rarely arrives. That's why this loss felt heavier than the score. It wasn't just another defeat in a lost season. It was another data point in an evaluation process that hasn't paused since draft night. Cleveland isn't just asking whether Sanders can throw the football. They're asking whether he can process the game at NFL speed, especially when everything is on the line. Can you win with Shedeur Sanders behind center? The honest answer right now is not unless this flaw improves. Arm talent alone doesn't win in this league. Neither does confidence. The quarterbacks who last understand that sometimes the smartest play is the ugliest one. A throwaway, a check down, a punt that keeps the defense alive. Until Sanders learns that the clock matters as much as the coverage, these moments will keep repeating themselves. And until they stop, the questions in Cleveland won't either.